This is Fuse, your link to interactive entertainment.
Hi, I'm Derek. Welcome to the first edition of Fuse.
Hey, and I'm JC. Fuse is your connection to the world of electronic games. And for the occasion, we put together a great show. We went all the way to Japan to check out Sega's new system.
Well, I did anyways.
Yeah, well, I actually got to play the new Sonic game, and Legend of Zelda for Nintendo 64, even the new Tomb Raider. And we got the crazy crew from Game Informer magazine who will give us the okay on lots of cool new games. And we'll visit with the Crystal Method, this month's Celebrity Gamers.
Very cool.
Yeah. But first, here's Cool Derek with Fuse News.
In the world of games, a revolution happens every couple years or so, and another one is upon us courtesy of Sega. Sega's Dreamcast is storming onto the streets of Japan right now, and 5 new titles will be released surrounding the launch, including Virtua Fighter 3 and Sega Rally 2. Japanese players can also expect RPGs, sports, and wrestling games. But last but not least, the biggest game for Dreamcast is the triumphant return of Sonic the Hedgehog in Sonic Adventure. And I was on hand in Tokyo for Sonic's unveiling. Check it out.
Fuse has hit Tokyo. Hi, this is Derek. I'm in Tokyo, Japan, outside the Tokyo International Forum. All of these people that you see here, they're waiting for a chance to play the brand new game, Sonic Adventure, Sega's first game for its new format, Dreamcast. Now, we're 2 hours away from the doors even opening, and yet there's already over 3,000 eager fans waiting for a chance to see what the future of gaming looks like. And I'm super, super excited. We're now inside the Tokyo International Forum, heading upstairs where everything's going to happen. Sonic Adventure, first time seen by human eyes. I mean, you know those people at Sega. They're not human. Excuse me. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about your new game? Get your programs here. This is going great, isn't it? This is great, yeah. Dude.
会場内での喫煙、ご飲食。
Sonic and Dreamcast will be introduced in Japan on December 27th. Unfortunately, we in the US will have to wait till next fall. When it does get here, Dreamcast owners will be able to use the console for internet and email right off their TVs with a web TV-like extra called Dreamflyer. More on Sonic later in the show.
In other Dreamcast news, Capcom, creators of Resident Evil, the most popular PlayStation game of all time, will release a new version called Resident Evil Codename Veronica, specifically for Sega's new machine. In this Resident Evil installment, Claire Redfield journeys to Europe to find her brother. Capcom has plans to design other Dreamcast games, including Power Stone, a polygonal fighting game along the lines of Street Fighter EX.
That small hatch on top of your Nintendo 64 does big things. When the Nintendo 64 memory expansion pack is plugged into the system. The expansion pack, which adds an additional 4 megabytes of RAM to the N64, is available now. Retailing at a price of $29.95, the item will double the N64's current RAM specs. That means high-resolution graphics. Unfortunately, the expansion pack doesn't do anything to enhance existing games, but only enhances games specifically designed for it. Turok 2 tops the list of games compatible with the expansion pack, but Perfect Dark, Nightmare Creatures, Rogue Squadron, and Quarterback Club 99 also utilize this new peripheral.
Interact has also made it known that its very own RAM pack is finished. Called Turbo RAM, a release to coincide with Nintendo's is likely.
The rumors have been flying about how Eidos plans to buy California-based developer Crystal Dynamics. Well, now it's cold hard fact. The acquisition is worth $47.5 million and will bring some of the industry's best-known characters together under one umbrella. Most notably, Lara Croft and that crazy gecko Gex. Eidos has no plans to change the operations of the Crystal Dynamics studio or staff. The Crystal Dynamics lineup for 98 and 99 is still intact. Expect to see Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko, and the highly acclaimed Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, in early 99. We'll have more details on Soul Reaver a little later.
Midway, creators of the arcade football hit Blitz, is currently programming a new title featuring players and teams from Major League Baseball. Just like Blitz, Midway's baseball title is said to stretch the rules of baseball a bit. Ouch. Expect to see some disturbing action when this game hits the arcades next spring. Yow!
Sorry, WCW fans, but the Ultimate Warrior will not be a playable character in the upcoming N64 game, WCW NWO Revenge. THQ had apparently reserved a space for Warrior, but there were too many questions surrounding his allegiance. However, the game's producer did state that the Warrior could be appearing in upcoming WCW Nitro and Thunder games that are scheduled to release early next year. Stay tuned. Gah!
Let's rock. Piece of cake. Who wants some?
What is the G? The G is gossip in the gaming world, and Fuse has it for you.
There may soon be action figures based on Konami's thriller Metal Gear Solid. We hear that McFarlane Toys of Spawn fame will design the figures.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Metal Gear Solid, Konami is hinting at a version for the Dreamcast.
Rock on. Sony's still pretty silent about the PlayStation 2, but word on the street is that this new gaming machine will rear its head next spring.
We'll see about that. After a 3-game run, Crash Bandicoot creator Naughty Dog has given up on the Bandicoot. The dogs will put their attention towards other genres, but that doesn't mean you won't see another Crash game. A new developer is reportedly being sought.
Waiting for an N64 version of Donkey Kong? Our sources tell us this big ape is on his way next year. We'll have to wait and see. In Future Shock, we profile games coming to you in the near future. Crash is back in Crash Bandicoot Warped. Follow Crash and Coco on their hardest adventure yet, this one featuring 3D jet ski and biplane levels. With an extra time trial feature, Crash Warped is one game you'll want to go back to again and again and again, starting in November from PlayStation.
Our next game is a sequel to Abe's Odyssey, called Abe's Exodus. It's very much like old SNES games as you attempt to solve puzzle screens. A feature called GameSpeak allows you to interact more realistically with other characters.
Game Boy announces an end to squinting. That's right, Nintendo has brightened up the world of Game Boy with Game Boy Color. It's the same old Game Boy, but with the vibrant color screen, so you won't burn your eyes out trying to tell the difference between 20 different shades of gray. Game Boy Color will be in stores by Thanksgiving. When the first Game Boy debuted in '89, the first game available was the original Tetris. Appropriately enough, the first game for Game Boy Color will be Tetris DX. Still puzzle champ, but this time in 56 colors. It's amazing how Game Boy keeps evolving.
Also in RPGs is an American attempt at the genre by Crave, called Shadow Madness. But don't worry, it won't be too much of a departure. The main designer, Ted Woolsey, was extensively involved in the American translation of Final Fantasy II and III.
The soul of hoops is back this year with NBA Live 99. For the first time, players on screen have movements and facial expressions accurate to their real-life counterparts. Through new artificial intelligence, characters even react realistically. You'll be able to draft an entire custom team or league.
Whoosh! Two! South Park fans, rejoice! All your favorite South Park characters are in Acclaim's new South Park game for the N64, including Cartman, Kyle, Stan, Kenny, Chef, and the infamous Mr. Hanky. Hidey-ho! The plot, as if they needed one, centers around the mayhem caused by a comet heading towards South Park. Will they survive? Find out this holiday season on your N64.
The Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, is like Metroid, Zelda, and Tomb Raider all rolled into one. In the sequel to the popular adventure game, Kain is now the villain as you become Raziel, a vampire and former underling of Kain. Ha ha ha. The game features some impressive artificial intelligence, along with numerous animation scenes. Expect Soul Reaver to hit stores early in '99.
Turok 2 looks to be an improvement over the original. Utilizing the RAM pack, the game has higher resolution, so you won't see the polygonal graphics building in the distance or so much of that annoying fog. The game covers 6 different worlds and features the best weapons ever seen in a game.
Bulletproof. Good thing I've been playing Siphon Filter, an action thriller for the PlayStation. You take the role of arms expert Gabriel Logan as he attempts to stop a group of terrorists with a strange and deadly biological virus. Expect tons of cool weapons, a huge 3D environment, and plenty of action when this game hits next spring.
Twisted Metal 3 has been developed by a different creative team than its predecessor, but with realistic car physics and returning characters like Sweet Tooth, Spectre, and Shadow, things are looking up. Well, that's it for previews. Now, here's JC as we cover the scoop on 3 really big games.
The inaugural game for Sega's new system, Sonic Adventure, has amazing resolution, the best yet in a game ever. Sonic and 5 other characters each have different adventures during the course of the game. The adventures overlap, detailing the release of chaos by Dr. Robotnik. The game has a multitude of levels, a rugged jungle, a Vegas-like city, a desert. The coolest thing about the levels is that certain areas are only accessible by certain characters. Sonic Adventure, the fastest and most detailed Sonic game yet, debuts in the fall of '99 when Dreamcast hits the US.
Our next mega preview is for the latest sequel to the phenomenon that is Tomb Raider. That's right, boys. Lara Croft is back again. This time, she's seeking out a set of ancient artifacts that lay scattered about the Earth. Players travel to India, Nevada, and the South Pacific. A mystery 4th level might just involve aliens, but we're not telling, and Laura isn't either. Tomb Raider 3 is structurally different from the previous games in the series. The levels are now non-linear and can be played in different orders. Laura will have many interesting vehicles to choose from, including a Jeep, a quad bike, and a canoe. Look for Tomb Raider 3 this November from IDOS for PlayStation.
One of Nintendo's top titles is back, and it's about time. The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, is the first Zelda game for the N64, and it might just be the greatest N64 game yet. A first ever simultaneous release in the US and Japan is planned for Zelda, and you should see it in stores soon. The game itself is positioned to be everything you'd expect in an N64 game. Its many levels are obsessively detailed, and Link has every ability Mario ever had, plus a few. The fighting sections are much like Street Fighter in Link's ability to fight and move, and he doesn't even need a sword all the time to hold his own. In addition to all the levels you must conquer as Link, you must also travel through a vast overworld where time shifts from day to night as you walk. It could even take that long because the new Zelda will provide a 60 to 100-hour gaming experience. The puzzles of this game really reflect the original, and there are some fun bonus games like fishing and shooting your slingshot. Your Rumble Pack comes into play as well, but for how? You'll have to play Zelda yourself, which I'm sure you will.
Here at Fuse, we're not about games all the time. Well, actually, that's not true. However, we are about seeking out cool people in the world of entertainment and getting their impressions on the world of interactive games. Recently, we had a chance to speak with Ken Jordan of the Crystal Method on the tour bus between gigs. He told us about electronic music, the effect of video games on the youth of America, and the use of the Crystal Method's music on PlayStation's Nitrous Oxide. He's this month's Celebrity Gamer.
Fox Interactive is sponsoring the tour. And they make N2O. The Fox dudes called us up in LA, and they're big fans of the band, and they really liked our music. They really liked the album, and they had finished the game, and they had kind of contracted us to do music for the game, but it sounded like all like Pong, kind of like, it sounded like video game music, like bing, 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 bing. So they called us up, and they like asked us to come over